Let's get Tim in here and talk a little Dodger baseball as we're previewing the NL West. And this is going to be it for us in the NL West. Then we're going to move on to the Central. Tim, great to have you on again. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Chris. Happy to be here.
Well, I got to tell you, we did the Padres yesterday, and it was like, wow, the confidence. I mean, people forget Dodgers won 111 games. Dodgers have been to the playoffs 10 straight years. They've won the National League West 9 out of those 10. They've won 104 games 4 out of the last 5 years. San Diego has basically a good 2 weeks, and they're acting like they've slayed the dragon. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. The Dodgers are still the Dodgers last time I checked, right?
They're still the Dodgers, and they still have 162 games to play. The one thing is that you're going to see fewer games against each other now because of the way the division is, right? So there's only going to be 13 games between the Dodgers and the Padres, not 19 like there were before, thanks to the new schedule. But you know what? I think it's great in a way that, they've improved quite a bit. I think it's great that they're going to be competitive. I think the Dodgers went 14-5 against them in the regular season last year, and they just won a couple of games when it really counted at the end, and that was disappointing, certainly for the Dodgers, to be gone in the division series. But as far as the regular season, they don't throw you a parade if you win the regular season. You got to win the World Series to get a parade, and that's what the Dodgers' aim is every single year, is to win a World Series.
How tough was it for the Dodgers when Gavin Lux went down, knowing what the expectations were for him in the middle of the infield there for Dodger Blue?
Really tough because, they're going to miss his bat this year. He's a good offensive player. He can run the bases really well. He was coming into his own as a shortstop and started short for the Dodgers, right? I mean, what kid wouldn't want to do that growing up playing baseball? Hey, I'd love to be the starting shortstop for the Dodgers. Well, Gavin Lux was about to live his dream, and it's going to take him a little longer to recover now. He had surgery 2 days ago. Everything came out of it okay, as far as we understand. But in the meantime, Miguel Rojas is going to be the guy that is going to take over the everyday duties at shortstop. So we'll get used to seeing Miguel Rojas there. Chris Taylor will back up. But I would suspect that the Dodgers would be on the hunt for somebody in the trade market, free agent market, trade market, whatever market. They're constantly, like every other team, looking to get better. So just because this is the way it starts doesn't mean that's the way it's going to finish.
The thing about when you look at the Dodgers last year, their run differential was just so much better than anybody else. I understand it didn't end the way they wanted to, but when you're Dave Roberts and you're going into this season, you still got to remember you got a lot of great players, and he had a really good year. How much have they talked about that, or maybe even having like a new chip on their shoulder going into this year?
That's a good question, Chris, because they have a chip on their shoulder. If a team that just won 111 games can have one, they've got one. And they really have thought about things to a man. They're using it as motivation for this year because not only do they have to get through the regular season, but they've got to get into the postseason and do well there. That's the name of the game. That's all that the folks care about here in LA is winning in the postseason. Again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a cliche. You've heard it a million times, but it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what happens in April, May, and June. It's what happens in October. And so that's their goal. That's where they're trying to get to. And if the Padres are in the way, then so be it. But if the Padres have a great year, then they have a great year. It's going to be fun in Southern California either way.
Mookie Betts is truly one of the primetime guys that we have in our game. And when someone always plays on the East Coast, and it's just, the way it works, we're always in batting practice when they're playing at 4:00. So you only get to see guys so much. Now that you've gotten to see him over the years, just talk about what an overall special talent he is.
I've seen Mookie grow quite a bit. I was with him in Boston for 3 years, missed him in 2019 when he was still with Boston and I was with the Dodgers. And then what ended up happening was he comes over here and he's been absolutely exceptional in terms of everything he's done on the field, off the field. We're looking forward to seeing him play in the WBC. But I've watched him grow as a player and a person from a young player who used to look up to the veterans, and now he's that veteran that the young players look up to. And why not? He's a great example. He's a table setter. He's going to lead off. There's been some talk that they might move him down in the order to number 2, maybe. But, I mean, the guy scores a ton of runs. Why would you want to move him out of that spot? He provides instant offense. He has only 2 hits this spring. Both of them are home runs, leadoff home runs. So, watching him play, not only offensively but defensively, I don't think there's a better player with base running instincts better than Mookie Betts. Plus, we're going to see him play a lot of second base this year. That's the position he came up as. I think he's going to come in and play second base quite a bit. I think you'll see him in the WBC playing second base also. So with Gavin Lux being out, that opens up a hole for an outfielder because you've got an infielder and Chris Taylor moving in to play short. I think Mookie Betts is going to come in to play second, ease some of that pressure too.
And if you need a bowling partner, he's your guy.
Well, not if you're betting, because he'll take all your money.
That's the thing that's interesting about LA this year is that there's just different. It's going to be different. Like Justin Turner, who was a great leader inside that clubhouse, is now gone. He's in Boston. JD Martinez comes in, going to be a full-time DH to where the Dodgers utilize the DH to get a lot of different guys rest and kind of have days off and just hit. I mean, they're still going to be really good. But just talk about how there's just going to be, as you've kind of alluded to, there's going to be a lot of different moving parts.
Yeah, there always have been in the Dodger lineup. They used to be where, Max Muncy could play either first, second, or third on any given night. Chris Taylor could play second, short, right field, or center field, left field. So you've got to be very versatile to be on this roster in most cases. With JD Martinez being the DH, I asked one of the coaches the other day on one of the backfields. I said, "Did he even bring a glove here to Arizona?" And they said, "I think he did. But he brought a lot of batting gloves. I know that." So, he's in the lineup today against the A's. Looking forward to seeing him get that swing going again. And when you look at JD Martinez, and he was another guy I was with in Boston, you really appreciate when he starts hitting that gap double to right center. He's got that opposite field power. And that's when he's going really well. He does have, gap to gap power. He can hit it out of the ballpark, but also he's a good doubles guy. And that's really what the Dodgers are looking for, is just to have him drive in some runs.
Well, the Dodgers obviously are one of the model franchises when you look at doing it with your farm system and having that talent. Is this a year where they're going to need some of that talent to come up and produce at the big league level?
I think so. You'll see some today. Ryan Pepio will pitch today. Michael Grove pitched last night. We've got Andre Jackson waiting in the wings. He came up, made his major league debut last year. So they've got some depth in the pitching department. In the field, a player named Michael Bush is getting closer to making an impact. A highly touted prospect, can really swing. And somebody who's on the travel roster today, and we'll get to see him a lot, I think, in the next week or so at least, is Diego Cartaya, who is certainly not a finished product by any means. Is still a very young kid, but he's the Dodgers' #1 prospect at catcher. And today we'll probably see him swing the bat a little bit. Miguel Vargas, another homegrown guy, he'll be back in the lineup today at second base. And the Dodgers are going to let him swing the bat today. He's had a hairline fracture in his right pinky finger. He's been playing defense in Cactus League games, but they sent him to the plate to not swing. He just went up there to track pitches, and he walked 4 times.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And the opposition knew he wasn't swinging. So that's baseball. But he's going to swing the bat. He's going to bat second today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he swung at the first pitch today. He's been dying to let go.
That is unbelievable. I saw that on Twitter. I could not believe that. That is actually really sad. Walker Buehler is truly one of the special talents. It's unfortunate, a second Tommy John surgery. I mean, obviously you're not going to want to rush him whatsoever. Is there any talk that you could maybe see him at the end of the season, or is this like take the year, get as healthy as possible, and we'll see you in 2024?
I think we're going to see him this year. I do. He's been in uniform at Camelback Ranch. He's throwing again already, not pitching, but playing catch at 60 feet. He's done that, I think, 3 times right now. I talked to him the other day, and he said he was feeling great. I don't think he's going to rush things. I don't think the team will rush him at all, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him by September. August, maybe, but probably September. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back and ready to go.
And then you look at Clayton Kershaw. Great to see him back. It's just so important in our game to really still have some guys stay with the whole organization their whole career. And, he is the modern Dodger that you think about Dodger baseball. You think Clayton Kershaw, just how important it is to have him still around when we have so much player movement.
There's stability there. And the young players see him and they see a future Hall of Famer and they go, I want to be around that guy. I want some of that to rub off on me. And so he's falling around. Like yesterday, he pitched a bullpen over at the complex and he draws a crowd, right? I mean, I was in the crowd and a lot of people were in the crowd watching him throw a bullpen. He hasn't thrown in a Cactus League game yet, but I think that's going to change maybe as soon as tomorrow against the Angels. I think he could go tomorrow, maybe Saturday against the Cubs, but I'm thinking tomorrow. But just to watch him, the way he goes about his work ethic, young players really learn from him. They like being around him. I mean, heck, the older players like being around him because, I mean, this guy's done it all, and all you can do is learn from him.
Let's end on this. Your son, Matt, does play-by-play for the Las Vegas Aviators for us. Just how proud are you of him and just exciting times to be at that level?
I couldn't be more proud. I mean, today he's doing 4 college basketball games in the Big West tournament for ESPN, and then he'll get back doing baseball here soon. But he's thrilled. I'm thrilled for him. I just saw Johnny Dosco. I've known Johnny since I was working in Vegas. That's how old Johnny is. I know he's coming up. But Johnny got to know him, and first thing Ken Korak said to me today was, "Hey, I saw your son at Big League Weekend." Those are the kind of little things that make me feel really good about what Matt's doing, and I know that when he's been on in the past to talk about the Aviators, he loves doing that. And it's just the growth in the business. It's not an easy business, as we all know, but he's at a good level right now, and I'm really proud of him. I think he's getting ready to do some good things.
Well, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with Dodger Blue this year. We'll be checking in with you later during the season, and have a great call today.
Yeah, anytime. I'm happy to do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.